back to another episode of the Lodgecast. I'm your host, Lauren, and we have Mark with us today.
I'm back.
He's back, and he's better than ever. And again, with us today, we have Malin.
I'm back too.
And everyone else was bums, and nobody else wanted to join us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, if you're new and you're a first time listener, we go to Heart of the Lakes Church. It has two campuses. We have one in Brooklyn and one in Jackson. Correct. And me and May are Lodge students. So Lodge is our student ministry here at Heart of the Lakes, and Mark is old.
That is subjectively true.
What is Mark's job?
Mark is actually the worship leader for our band for the youth group, Engine.
Yes, he is.
Yes,
and Malin is a singer for the same band, and I am not an Engine at all. So,
but you're a pretty cool person. I think you could put that on the resume.
Thanks,
Lauren
guys.
does our podcast.
You can put that in the job interview.
I try.
You can do that during the job interview.
Yep.
We had a fun game.
We
called
played
job
a fun
interview.
little game today that me and Mark did.
I came up with it at work today.
Mark came up with it.
I was really proud of it.
So what we did was we did an interview. We interviewed some of the Lodge students with a nice
It was very calm,
composure.
Really,
and
just like this is the kind of style that we talked into. It was
very
relaxed. And then when the interview started, I'm not gonna enact it because I don't want to ruin it. But we started screaming, and it was like drill sergeant style, and the crowd had to vote on whether or not the person deserved the job. Which
it was terrifying.
We intentionally did not say what job people were interviewing for.
They were just like, no, we had a constant. So me and Mark would be yelling, "Why did you apply for this job?" And they'd be like, "What's the job? I don't know."
And we tried to go off the dynamic. I kept asking job-related questions, and she kept asking random, completely off the wall questions.
What's your favorite color or something?
It was but drill sergeant style. Like she was screaming it. It was pretty funny. I was proud of that.
Yeah.
It was one of the few good ideas that I have.
So Mark and I, at youth group, we kind of do like a welcome thing every week. So we do a fun little game, or we just talk
fun
about
facts or just random
Mark and Lauren things, because Mark and I are the same person.
So it's terrifying sometimes.
It actually is. I think sometimes it makes me want to stay at least a whole country's worth away from Mark.
Too much for one room.
So it's a lot. And
so sorry,
how do you feel being in the same room
I was
right
gonna
now?
say sorry, Malin. You're stuck between us.
No, Malin is an experience. She's experienced this before. How do you
handle it?
I just don't pay attention.
I am ignoring everything around me.
There's nothing happening.
Wait, I'm on a podcast with other people? When did you guys get here?
You guys are here?
I completely ignored you guys. I forgot you. I didn't see you guys.
Oh, it's worse when we're trying
we played some fun games today in the gym.
Yes. Some fun games. There
was a lot of running.
Games. There was a lot of running.
I told him, I said, I'm not running today.
And then you ended up running anyway.
A lot of clotheslining. I feel like a lot of people threw themselves on the floor.
Yesterday you were like, I'm not going to let Carver tell me that. You were saying that, and then he ended up doing it anyway.
And then I ran today. And then I watched Manny get clotheslined. And
that
was so funny.
He fell off the thing.
The gym has a ramp that has a window thing that's he just rolled over the window thing and
he face planted on the floor.
Who was it?
Bad.
It was Carver and someone else
Manny was okay. Manny was okay.
Carver and Hope clotheslined Manny, and he flipped over.
It's okay. He was late to the podcast, so we can do that.
He's still late. He's not here.
To the podcast. Yep.
True.
He's always late to the podcast. Funny bit.
Funny bit. Funny.
So prayer.
So prayer.
Yes.
Tonight for a sermon, as usually, we would talk about Pastor Cody, but Pastor Cody has disappeared. I don't know where he went.
He's just not on.
I think if you asked any of the youth, we were all like, "Where's Cody?"
He disappeared.
And I asked 4 different people.
He ran away to Bolivia or something like that.
I was like, "When's he coming back?" And everyone was like,
"That's my bad."
Classified.
No, he's probably. I think he's at an Orange conference.
He's on a secret mission.
Conference for the curriculum that our church goes through. So, I think that sounded like Atlanta.
He's gonna listen to this and just
be like, "You're wrong."
I'm here.
We're gonna get a text message from Cody saying, "I'm watching you right now."
Cody's gonna correct me right now. I'm waiting for the text message to pop up on my watch.
Cody lives to correct Mark. It's just what he does. And Cody lives in Mark's house.
I think Jesse can agree.
I think we all can see
He's
it happen.
nodding silently. Jesse is silently nodding.
Jesse is nodding.
Oh, Jesse's not normally here. Jesse's not normally here. He's the producer. He runs sound at the church. You want to just say hi? Just shout hi.
Hello. That's Jesse.
I don't know if anybody could hear you on the microphone.
But that's Jesse.
Jesse's pretty great. Some of the biggest hair I've ever seen, truthfully. He
has big hair.
Straight up, no cap, swag, big hair.
We're getting off topic, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry, my bad.
Since Cody has gone, we had Devin Mingini.
Yeah, you said it right. Congrats. Good job.
Devin.
It's really hard to say, actually.
Devin and her husband, Zach, are actually running the youth program over at our Jackson campus. So if you are listening and you're a teen who's more in the Jackson area rather than the Brooklyn area.
In the fall, they start their regular youth services.
So you should keep that in mind, and you can meet the Devin.
They were actually on our podcast
They were
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was on it with them.
They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool people.
So
yes,
I like them.
Devin, with some help from Zach, gave a sermon reiterating on prayer and talking about the importance of prayer. So I think we're going to kind of touch into that and talk about.
Because that's kind of what this whole sermon series is about. It's like just getting prayer. Because like what she said, consistency. Like that's a big deal.
Prayer,
like because it's not a natural thing. Prayer is not something that comes naturally to us. It's something we have to practice and actually get comfortable with. And I'm still not. And I do it all the time. Look at me, big Christian guy over here. But no, so I'm just an awkward person, so my prayers are awkward. So
Same.
So if like that's one thing I've always been like, wow, my prayer sounds so weird. Like, hey, God, so like I just wanted to ask you a couple of things. Like that's legit. That's legit how my prayer goes. It's not this whole fancy, dearest thou Lord above in the heavens.
These and those and days and thous.
Thous and these, Mr. KJV. Thank you.
Do you say a lot? I say a lot.
I say and like so much.
I feel like sometimes when I'm praying, it starts off, it's like, dear God, and it's like, what is up? Like, how's it going for you? Well, for me, since you asked, it's going horrible. It's just like, it just sounds like a whole big vent session, and at the end of it, so I'm like, you're like, thank you for listening. You know,
yeah.
I don't know, it was probably a lot.
Thanks for listening to my TED Talk, God.
I know he's a big guy. I know, but sometimes I feel like after he hears me pray, he's like, I gotta take a seat. Give me a water.
Man. Like Devin said, he's like the maker of our universe, and that's crazy to wrap your head around, is the fact that you have the privilege to talk to someone who knit you together in your mother's womb, who literally created our universe.
What I think it's easy to forget is that God is it's not possible to conceptualize God. You can't, there's no way to actually physically understand the completeness of God, and it's just like crazy.
And that's where she kind of pointed out where faith comes in.
Yeah.
Like comes in. Like,
so there's things you don't understand that God is like,
you have to have that faith, and you have to put that faith into action to just continue being okay with not completely understanding it.
Yeah.
I think something Devin kind of said today when she was speaking was, in this like day and age, I've heard this from like a lot of different people, but like from this day and age, we all probably have favorite celebrities. Or just like celebrities that we would just like, oh my gosh, I'm in the same room as them. I'm shaking and I don't know what to do. That's
Lauren,
Ryan Reynolds.
who's yours?
Mine?
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, I have so many, but we don't need to.
Can I just say
that.
Mark Wahlberg? Like for me, it's
okay. He's actually pretty cool.
Like Mark Wahlberg.
He's so cool.
Off topic.
Anyway,
we need a
bunny
button.
trail. We need a bunny trail button.
we need a button that says off topic.
Jesse, that might be your chance to hit buttons because you were asking earlier. Just push something. I don't know. That's a song.
That's the outro.
No, not
anyway, so Devin, this is a bad idea. So Devin was talking about how like when we see these like people, or we had the opportunity to talk to this famous person, we would go crazy.
Yeah.
But she pointed out we can talk to the creator of us, to the creator of everything, and we don't, like, a lot of the time we don't have that same reaction.
Yeah.
But we are literally talking to the person who created that famous celebrity, or who created the
person who breathed life into you. Everybody,
literally every single thing, and that's something we get to do.
Thanks God for
Just
Mark
for
Wahlberg
fun,
and Ryan
like
Reynolds.
we just get to like just talk to him like he's our friend, because he is our friend, and I think that's so awesome.
And
especially
oftentimes, I think it feels weird because you don't hear an audible response.
Yeah,
and I know, like that is a weird like that's been a big hiccup, like a hiccup for me that I struggled with, is like, well, it feels like I'm just talking to a wall, but that's like that's something that you just have to keep working on, because that's not actually the case.
Right.
You've got to that's like a perspective thing. You have to change the way you're thinking about it.
Like sitting in silence is.
I think part of it is like a lot of the times actions kind of speak a little bit louder than words.
Yes.
In this case, like God, I don't think God has to respond.
No.
Verbally, He responds by maybe putting something or someone in your life that helps you with what you're asking for, or like puts things in your life that help navigate you towards what it is you're asking for. Because I think if you look back on like things you've prayed about years ago, and you look at your life now, you'd be like, you would 100% notice those things being prevalent.
And God already knew that. And
we exactly. Don't.
It's like sometimes this may sound like stupid, but I was talking about this in the small group with the guys, and like how we see God as a vending machine.
Yeah.
And I kept the vending machine part, but sometimes God is like a vending machine that knows more than you know. It's like you you click C3 and spend your $1.25 at work to get the Nutter Butter cookies that they have in the vending machine there. Definitely not talking from experience. You go and do that, and like with a normal vending machine, like you get the cookies that taste really good and have lots of peanut butter, and great. But sometimes the vending machine, God will decide, hey, that's not actually what you need right now. Maybe there'll be a salad that drops out of the vending machine, and you don't want to eat it, but you have to because it's good for you. And the vending machine is like, hey. Or sometimes you don't get anything. Or sometimes you get it and you get 3 of it. Right, which that would be really nice, but it didn't happen to me. So I just got the one.
Stay positive, Mark.
Like one thing that we talked about is like having like a prayer box or a journal.
Oh yeah.
Because then you can go back and look at all of the things that you wrote down or that you thought about. Like I have a journal where I just journaled, but I journaled to God.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I verbally said them. I would just write them down. And you can go back and look at them, and it's crazy.
That's such a cool idea. Because then you can look back at where you were at. You're like, wow, God's taken me so far since then.
And you, like, sit there and you think, like, in the moment, it's like, why isn't he answering me? Like, why isn't he answering me now? But then you look 3 months ahead, 4 months ahead, maybe even a year. You don't know. But you look back at that, and sometimes you're like, wow, God.
That's a great idea.
You did that.
Yeah. I'd try that, but I'd keep forgetting to use it.
So for our campfire...
Set a reminder on your phone.
Oh, you're right.
So for our campfire groups, actually, we are going to make a prayer box. So every week, we can all just put in like a little prayer request or just a prayer that we have to God, and then you can look back at it, or someone else can go in and look from the box and take something that they want to pray about personally, and we're just going to kind of keep it.
So
but
cool.
You don't put your name on it.
Right. You just put the date and what your prayer thing
go
is.
Go girls. Yep. You guys, that's a great idea.
Lauren.
You're doing good. Your small group's doing awesome.
So that's a really awesome thing that I personally like love here at the lodge is our small groups. So we have Campfire Groups, which is basically like where we spend time with our leaders, and we go over what we talked about in the sermon, and we answer questions, and we also kind of get an opportunity to just talk to each other, and like it's really cool. It's really great, and it's also really rewarding because we get to work together. So
Malin has to leave soon. So I want to end on one last thing. We talked about consistency. Are there things that you guys try to do or would like to do to make your prayer life consistent? Is there things that you have, like things you try to do, like times or reminders or whatnot?
So we actually talked about it. I have set one at 7 a.m. So we talked about having a consistent prayer time, fitting time in your schedule. I have a bus ride about an hour, 50 minutes to an hour. So I set mine for 7 because I get on about 6:40, and I have that whole 35, 40 minutes that I can just sit on the bus, and I have my 7 o'clock because I usually, let's be honest, I sit on TikTok for like a half hour when I'm just on the bus.
Yeah.
So
how about talk to Jesus, right?
Like that's like I have that set out for that time.
Yeah, I do mornings when I'm getting ready. My alarm is actually labeled today's your day, God. Your day's today. I don't remember exactly what it says, but it's along those lines. I said it myself and I don't remember.
I do a couple of things. Like for one, I drive a lot, especially because I live in the Jackson area and I go out to Brooklyn at least 2 times a week. So I do a lot of praying in the car.
Yeah.
Another thing for me is I get on my Bible app at least 4 times a day. And I kind of so there are times where I do my daily devotionals.
Overachiever. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I have such a hard time with that. I haven't gone on mine in 3 days.
I'm doing 2 devotionals, and I do one, and then I I get off, then I do the other one, and then I do the verse of the day, and then I just read. And you could do this really cool feature where you just write notes.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I do that a lot of times. I make them private, so they're just little notes for me and to God. That's kind of plus when I kind of go around the day, I kind of just find myself praying randomly. So I feel like I'm not really a schedule person. I'm
sometimes having a token or something that you carry with you is also a good idea. Jesse was talking about that. He's got a friend that has a couple friends that do that. I used to have a necklace, but I broke it on accident.
Can I just say though, the one time that I actually find that I do most of my praying is in the shower. I don't know why, but it's just
There's nothing else to do.
I find myself.
Well, I mean, clean your body, but I just stand there and
You
soak
heard it
in the
here
water.
first.
Just
Mark
like right
does
in my,
not clean.
I'm in my pajamas and I just stand as the water just
Mark
soaks in.
showers fully clothed,
Yes.
and he doesn't actually use a washing
Save on
machine.
the
That's
water
how
bills.
he washes his clothes and his body.
Yep, 100%.
Just like
100% factual, no sarcasm.
Just put some soap
None.
in the shower head and just
Exactly.
Spin cycle. And then
Exactly.
he stands in the shower
You
and
want-
spins in a circle. Spin cycle.
Well, anyway, we've got to go. So we're going to hit that outro music, which is that music. Yes, I made that.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Reminder, we have a new episode coming out every single week. You can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts under
Bump it.
Lodgecast. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week. Dance it out.
Yeah, dance it out. Dance the outro. Man, whoever made this song is a really cool person.
Oh my gosh, it was Mark.
That is Mark.
Shameless
Wow.
plug.
Fast the cat.
oh yeah, music.
That's me. Is this awkward? I don't care. It's awkward.